Hello everyone, I am Nishant from R27 batch, and in this video we'll look at a web fuzzing tool called FFUF. So first we are going to look at what is fuzzing, what is a word list, and then why FFUF or why FFUF is used, the basic syntax to run the FFUF tool. I'm also going to show a live demonstration of using FFUF in different scenarios and different features of the FFUF tool. So first of all, what is fuzzing? Fuzzing is a very important step when it comes to enumerating a target. It simply means sending random data to a target application and see how it behaves to each of the input. The goal of fuzzing process is to get the target to behave in an unexpected way, that is giving different inputs and generating unexpected outputs so that we can discover different bugs or vulnerabilities. Here is a simple diagram to explain the fuzzing process. So as you can see, a fuzzer sends random inputs to a target system, which could lead to unexpected behavior like a crash or lead to us discovering vulnerabilities like SQL injection or XFF. In order to fuzz a target, we would require a list of data or inputs, which is known as a word list. So basically, a word list is a list of different inputs or data that we can send to a target application and record the responses for those specific inputs. Now, the list can be a list of commonly present subdirectories on a website, or commonly used passwords, or commonly used parameters in a website. It could also be a list of payloads like SQL injection payloads or XSS payloads. Now there is a collection of word lists, amazing collection of word lists called checklist on GitHub, which contains different word lists like usernames, passwords, URLs, sensitive data patterns, and other fuzzing payloads. So this is the checklist on GitHub. So as you can see, there is different word lists for discovering different subdirectories, different files, commonly used usernames, passwords, payloads for SQL injection, XSS, XSS attack word list, and many more are present. Now, checklist comes pre-installed in Kali Linux, but if it's not present on your system, you can use the apt install command to install checklist. Now, I have previously installed checklist on my system, but you can run the apt install checklist command and you can install it on your system. Now, the default location where checklist gets installed is going to be user shared checklist. So the default location in which checklist is going to get installed is user shared checklist, and you can see there are collection of different word lists for different scenarios that you can use. So next is why FFUF. FFUF is basically a web fuzzing tool that automates the fuzzing process of web applications. It sends the different payloads or data from the word list and also analyzes the response for those respective inputs or payloads. FFUF is a very powerful and flexible web fuzzer which is used for bug hunting and penetration testing. So the basic syntax to run the FFUF tool is type FFUF-u to specify the target URL, and the first here is a placeholder where FFUF is going to inject the different inputs or payloads from the word list and is going to record the responses. And to specify the word list, you're going to use the -w and then the path to the word list. So -u is target URL, -w is to specify the path to the URL, and fuzz is a placeholder where FFUF is going to inject the different inputs from the word list and is going to record the response. This is the output of the help command of the FFUF tool. So let's move on to the live demonstration. So the first thing I want to show is fuzzing for different commonly present files on a web application. So for that, I'm going to use the DVWI website, find commonly present files on a web application. So you type then you specify the URL. So since we are finding different commonly present files, we're going to place the first placeholder at the end of the URL. Then we're going to specify the path to the word list. Then I'm going to use the -c to color code the output, so it's going to be easy for us to differentiate the different responses from the web application. So as you can see, FFUF has gone and it has sent different file names from the word list to the target application, and it has recorded the response from the web application. So it records the status code that is sent by the web application, the size of the HTTP response, the size of the different words, uh, size of the lines present in the response of the web application. Now similarly, you can also use FFUF to fuzz for different commonly present subdirectories on a website. For that, I'm going to use this uh, website, which is basically a lab on RAM. So the command is going to be similar to the previous one, except that we're going to change the URL. And again, we're going to place the first placeholder at the end, since we are trying to fuzz for different subdirectories. Now I'm going to specify the path to the word list which contains the different subdirectories. Okay. So if your word list has comments in it like this, you can use the -ic command of IC option to tell FFUF to ignore those comments. So now FFUF is going to ignore the comments present in the word list and it's going to send the different other inputs. So we can see that FFUF has first for different subdirectories that is present in the web application. It's also going to record the responses for those particular inputs. Now this is a very huge word list, so I'm going to cancel the process here because we have understood the basic idea of how this works. So the next thing is we can also use FFUF to find different parameters that could be present at target endpoint. So if we take the same endpoint and if you want to find the different parameters that could be present, so this is how we're going. So since we are trying to find the different parameters, I'm going to type question mark first. So that's going to be where the different inputs are going to be sent from the word list. Now the location for the word list for different parameters to be sent to the target application. And I'm also going to use the IC command to ignore the comments and color code the output. Okay. So the web application is going to respond with a 200 status code for every input. This is basically false positives or noise that is generated by the website. So if we want to filter out the specific status codes or filter out the noise from the specific output from the web application, there is a feature called filters options in FFUF. So if we look at the help command, we can see that there are filter options. So different filter options, and also there is options to match different HTTP status codes, or to match a specific amount of lines present in the response, or the amount of words in a response, filter out specific HTTP codes, filter out specific size, and filter out specific words, or the amount of words, sorry. So I'm going to use the FS to filter out the specific size, that is 4254, which is basically noise here. So the same command, but with the filter FS. So now FFUF is going to filter out all those noise, and we're going to let FFUF finish the fuzzing process and let it find any parameters that could be. Okay, so FFUF has found two parameters, that is Q and R, and it has also recorded the response from the web application. So for Q is 200 status code, and for R it is a 302 redirection response. Now another feature of FFUF is we want to find specific file extensions. Like if you want to find a specific files like a text file or a PHP files on a specific on a target application, you can use the -e option. So I'm going to show that as well. Okay, so I'm going to use this specific word list which contains different words, and now I'm going to color codify the output, and then I'm going to use the -e option and specify FFUF to find only PHP and THP files, and I'm going to use a filter to filter out the 403 and 404 responses. So as you can see, FFUF is only finding outputs for PHP or TXT files. So we'll hit FFUF finish. Okay. So as you can see, we have only obtained PHP or THP files. So that's the FFUF tool. There are many other options, useful options in the specific scenarios that you can use. You can check out the help command output. So for example, you can also use a filter called MR, or sorry, match option called MR, which matches for a specific regular expression, or FR for matching filtering out regular expressions. There is also a feature called recursion, okay, so which scans recursively on a target application. So I'm going to just show this one option. So I'm going to use the recursion option here, and I'm going to filter out responses with code 404 404. So what happens is, so FFUF goes and first finds out that there is a specific directory config. So what it's going to do next is, it's going to take config and it's going to append it at the end of the URL, and then again put the placeholder after the config. So now it's going to go and try to find if there is any subdirectories after the config subdirectory. So this is called recursion. So next it has found docs. So it's going to append docs at the end, and then it's going to again recursively find any subdirectories that is present in the docs subdirectory. Similarly, it has found external, so it's going to append external at the end, and again it's going to recursively find if there is any further subdirectories in the external subdirectory. So that's how you can use the recursion option. You can also specify the recursion depth as well using the recursion depth option. So there are many more useful options that is present in the FFUF tool. You can feel free to check it and get familiar with using the FFUF tool. So these are the different references that you can check out. It's very informative and helpful. Thank you.